Hello and welcome to this new episode of the Alex Show TV. As you can see, I have two guests and I have my very good friends, Joel from the US, Tony from London, that you guys know very well. He has been here like almost 100 times. How are you guys tonight?
I'm good,
Doing
mate.
well. Doing well. Great to see you guys. Been a while.
Yeah, good to see you both.
Yeah,
The A-team.
Great to see you both, guys. And I was very happy when Tony told me that we're having a chat, Joel, and so many chats. And I said many times, Joel, you probably don't know that you guys gave me my start. Wake in the Future. I felt so comfortable talking with you guys that it gave me the itch. I guess we all get to start our own thing. And tonight we're talking something. I guess we have spoke, especially Tony and I, so much. The voice in our head that whatever drives us, whatever is trying to steer us in a way. And I agree with you guys that I don't think that voice, that ego, I think it's the voice of the ego, once has its own agenda, in my opinion. Doesn't necessarily want so best interest. It follows an agenda, who knows from where. So with that, I don't know if you guys, Joel or Tony, whoever wants to start.
Well, Joel's not been on for so long, and it's good to hear from him. And
Go ahead, Joel. Go ahead.
give him the honor.
And I think you hit the nail on the head with that, with our mind and ego, and that's what it is, and that's what's talking a lot of the time. And I also like to think of it as we go through our day, like we run different characters. You know, I try to be a certain person when I'm not aware for my wife, so so I play the husband role, and then I play the father role, and then I'm the employee, and then I'm and then I'm the boss, and then so I go through. And when I'm not careful, I let my ego do the talking, and I think that there's a certain way that I have to act and think as I play each role as I go throughout the day, and when I stop and I'm on point, I can just be Joel, and I'm just the same person with Alex, with Tony, with the rest of the outside world. And I think, Tony, what you were even alluding to was, people's head isn't where their feet are, so
Yeah.
their minds all over the place, and we say we're going to do one thing, and in our mind we're these moral characters, and then we don't live up to our own beliefs within our head, right?
Yeah.
Our own ego. So I mean, I think that's kind of where I see it, and yeah, it's wild. It's
Yeah.
and like we were talking about before too, our mind will lie to us. Our mind will lie to us, and
Yeah.
it can be a bad neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great start. I say it's just like my little story before was that I quit drink in a nutshell for the audience. I quit drink. Lucky to be alive. I'm in hospital for 2 months. Get home. My mind's telling me, a voice to think it's me. He says, "Well done. You just quit drink. Go and celebrate." So I goes to the liquor store, buys 6 strong lagers. Next minute, I'm thinking, what's this, all these beer cans doing here? Then I said to someone, "What's that about?" I said, "It's a fault, innit?" So I thought, my mind is sabotaging my life. I wouldn't do that if, with all the sense left in my body, I wouldn't do that. But yeah, I was steered towards it and did it. So yeah, if people could question their mind and do a rewind and see what their mind has said to them and keep it accountable, question it, keep an eye on it, the world would be a better place overnight, because people wouldn't be following these ideas and these, whether they're beliefs, I'm not sure, if they're belief systems, conditioning, ways to be that we're taught to be, queue up in a queue, listen to authority, do the right thing. We've got so much baggage that we've been taught to do that it's like our spirit, our self, takes a back seat. And kind of like you said, Joel, our mind is all over the place and our feet are on the ground, not in unison with it, not in connection with it. So I think for the world to change for the better, we do need to question our ideas without, blindly following this voice in our head, so that we've got some stability, some alignment, alignment with ourselves and therefore the world. So, yeah, it's a big subject, and it's the root of it all, I believe. The voice in our head.
I think you're absolutely right, and I think you said beliefs, and we get these ideologies in this group think, and whereas morally and spiritually, when I'm by myself, I can do the right thing, but for most of the world out there, you start getting into groups of 2 or 3 people, and now all of a sudden our ideologies change because we want to fit in. And the evil things that groups of people will do, that if you were to take each individual and set them aside, they would never do it, is an important thing to look at. And it's this incessant need that a lot of people have to fit in and be cool. And for me, I've talked about it many times on my when I was doing Waking the Future, was I never had that. Like I always knew I was an outsider, and I never really cared whether or not I fit in. And I don't know if it was the environment I grew up in, there's just the self-confidence that I had, whatever it was, but I'm very grateful that I've always been able to like take a look at a group of people and be like, I'm kind of all set. Like I'm gonna go my own way, and being a loner really paid off in the end.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, thinking about people in groups, yeah, you've given up your will to the group. You're not longer yourself anymore. You're part of a group, and there's whole different ramifications of behaving in that group. And if you're so scared to be on your own, there's a problem there. If you're not happy sitting on your own without saying a word, just peaceful, quiet, doing nothing. If there's nothing to do nothing. If you're not happy doing that, that's the fundamental problem with your life.
Yeah.
As I see it. Yeah. Yeah, spot on. I totally agree.
Great stuff, guys. I think a lot of the stuff of how our ego talk to us and is trying to steer us, like what happened when you got out of the hospital, Tony. It has to do a lot with programming, I think. Has to do a lot of not in that particular case of you, Tony, but it tried, as Joe was saying, to justify us in a way, in a moral way, kind of a justified morality, if it makes sense. I'm in the right here. I'm doing the right thing, even if inside you, for example, you're a politician, if you're a businessman and you bend some rules, yeah, I bend them, but I don't break them, and I do more than good, and that kind of justification. That's the way kind of the ego plays out, that at the end we have to be on the right side. If there's too much, that you have to be right. And when you see people like the people we were discussing before recording, people that go get great lengths really to impose their ideas, even being belligerent and violent and evil, is because they care too much about being right. They just cannot accept in their minds that you are right and they're wrong. Okay,
Yeah.
their ego is so inflated that they have to be right and you have to be wrong. It doesn't matter the lens I need to do. If I need to punch you or something, if I need to get violent with you. And I think that's when you see, for example, in a bar, a discussion that starts, okay, and then kind of they start raising their voices, and then they start with the insults, and then they start with the end with the violence. Because at the end, if you have to insult someone, if you have to be nasty to someone to impose an idea that you're right anyway, it doesn't make any sense at all, to be honest. So for me, a common denominator among us three and so many others, like the other Tony from Mexico and that, and many others we have had in the channel, is that at the end we don't care to be right. We have our ideas, and as Joel says, I'm fine with them. And we're very comfortable in our own skin. That's so important, because if you really need the constant validation of the out there, and you don't have the validation of you, of the inside of you, your self-worth, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. But if you are not comfortable with you, with what you feel, with what you think, the way you act, and you're constantly seeking the validation of the out there, you're in trouble. I mean, you're setting yourself up for failure, and really you're finding the strength in something external instead of being strong yourself. And then, sure, we don't want the world to hate us, and I mean, it doesn't really matter. But at the end, it's fine to have the validation of the family, of the friends. That's great, but you don't need it. It's great when you don't need it, because then you can have it and you can really enjoy it. But for the majority of humanity, they care so much on what people think of them,
Yeah.
that that ego is doing everything they can to conform to some sort of right way of doing things, right way of being. I need to go to college. No, you don't. I need to get married. No, you don't. I need to have children. No, you don't. I need to be skinny, or I need to be like that, or I need to go to the gym, or I need to be a CEO in a company, or I need to earn so much dollars a year. If not, I'm a failure. No, you're not. Doesn't matter. But if you conform yourself to these outside rules, that's when I think the ego controls you, instead of you controlling the ego, which I think us three control our ego. I mean, the ego is there, it's never going to go. The ego is
No, it's
part
not
of this
going.
reality, it's with us. But the key part is, does your ego controls you, or do you control your ego?
And that's exactly it. And it's like, you know, you bring up very good points, Alex. And I think the one phrase that really sums it up is I need, I need, I
Yeah.
need, I need, I need. And it's like, really, what people need is to like get barefoot, go outside, take a deep breath, and just take it all in.
That's
And
it.
it's, and it's just, it's really just as simple as that. And all of this I need and I want. There's an old Buddhist quote, and it was this guy goes to a Buddha and he says, "I want happiness," and the Buddha says, "Well, you need to remove self, which is I, and you need to remove ego, which is want, and what are you left with? Happiness."
Mm.
And you know when I can remove myself and what I think I need, all I'm left with is the happiness. And it's all of this I want. And I think that I need to go to college and I need to get the brand new car and I need, and it's all of this material world. And then we don't even know. Now we're 65 years old instead of 85 years old on our deathbed because we've driven ourselves absolutely insane of all these things that we need to do. And I don't even know who I am.
Yeah.
And and then the other thing with going back with the getting angry and getting all upset and this incessant need to be right is, you know, the second that I need to be right, now I'm acting off of emotion. And if I'm acting off of emotion, I'm not living in reality.
Yeah.
It's
So,
I try to go into every conversation and first of all with the understanding that maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my whole view is wrong and I can learn something here.
that's it.
And and everybody talks about freedom and then but the second somebody says something they disagree with, they just shut them down and berate them. And it's like that doesn't sound like freedom to me. And it's like all I really want is it's like that poem, like the guy that just wanted to be left alone is like, I just want you to be happy, Tony, and I want to be happy.
Yeah.
So you can think what you think and we can live in harmony disagreeing on certain things, or we can sit around like a couple of grumpy old men and argue about it all day and get absolutely nowhere.
Exactly. Yeah. Amazing point of when you saying when I remove the I and the want, then you're happy. It's like the classic. I was in a philosophy class years ago. I remember telling the guy, he's an Irish bloke called Martin, and he said he was his wife actually. I won't give too much detail, but he was tutoring his wife for her to become a teacher. So he was like the philosopher, and he's understudy, and she wasn't very confident. But we were talking about something or another, and he said we were talking about happiness, and I said, yeah, you know when you get a Christmas present, there's like 30 of us in the room in the semicircle. I said it's not the present that makes you happy. It's like you look forward to it all year, and you're grasping. You're like on a hamster wheel. grasping. And the energy of looking forward, grasping for this present. Could be a holiday, birthday present. It could be anything you look forward to. But that energy is a grasping energy, which keeps you in this contorted ball of, I'm lacking. I need something to make me happy. And I said, it's not the present when you get it. It's not the present that makes you happy. It's the collapsing of the grasping and the relaxation of knowing that I have what I need. I've surrendered the grasping, the chasing, and it's the removing of the I and the want. And you've got this object. It's a token object, which makes you stop grasping, and that is what makes us happy when we're relaxed enough to know I'm complete. I don't need anything. And if we live a life like that, day to day, moment to moment, we can still achieve things. We can still do things, but we're not looking forward to stuff. We're not on that hamster wheel of I need it. Where is it? We're just doing our thing.
Yeah, it's the journey, not the destination, right? And it's, when I get this big goal and something I'm working very hard towards, and it's I'm grinding and I'm doing everything I can to get it done because I really have my mind set on something, and then I finally reached the goal. It was like it's like, okay, now what? And it was that whole journey that I enjoyed. And going back to the present thing, it's that temporary fix for the spiritual problem within also, right? It's this, I'm always looking for something outside of myself
Yeah.
to fix me. And it's like I just had a conversation with one of my really good friends at Christmas time, because he was saying, "Oh, I really enjoy giving presents more than I like getting them." And we kind of dug really deep into that. I said, "Do you enjoy giving presents or do you enjoy everybody around the circle seeing you give the present?"
Good
Because
question.
yeah, and
Great question.
and it's worth looking into, because if we dig deep, there was
Yeah.
a time when I thought I enjoyed giving the presents, but then after Christmas, all I would do was bitch about how much money I had spent and blah blah blah.
That's it.
And now later in life, I enjoy buying presents for my wife and my family because I love them, and I just want to get them things that they need and make them feel good.
Yeah. That's it. It's so much buried stuff in there we don't understand is motivating us.
So much in the subconscious, we don't even.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really wild. It's cool stuff.
It's a great chat. I knew it would be a great chat.
Yeah. Yeah, good point about the presents, Joel. I mean, my wife and I, a few years ago, we decided that it's not that we were not going to give presents during Christmas, but we were not going to be part of the whole thing. I mean, you'll be amazed how my city gets during the 20th, 22nd of December, 23rd. I mean, shopping malls beyond capacity, huge traffic, everyone fighting for the last. It's probably a worldwide thing, I know, but it's amazing. So my wife and I said, it's nice to give a little present, but is it really important what you give? It's just, I mean, it's not even necessary. But if you want to do what we do especially when we get together with my wife's family, is we do kind of a lottery, and the children give to an aunt, and the aunt to me, and I give it to another niece or something like that. And it's a symbolic thing. We fix a very small amount, I don't know, around 50 US per present, and it's just a symbolic thing. I mean, I got a waffle making machine glass. So, and it's nice. I appreciate it. There was another one that I like, because then we play a game that we steal the presents in a way through a game that you get two chances and that. And there was a foot massage from China, probably, because if it's within the 50 US price range, it's not probably very sophisticated. But it's not really, I mean, same as what you need out there. You don't need anything. Sometimes you need a talk. Sometimes you need a hug. Sometimes you need, just as you were saying, Joel, just going barefoot out there in a forest, in a garden, If you have any water bodies close, I think you're very lucky. I mean, if you go to a lake, if you go to the sea, that's beautiful for me. I think the sea is amazing. All nature is amazing, but the sea, especially for me, is very special. Sometimes that's what you need. You don't need a Ferrari. You don't need a Rolex. You don't need $100,000 in your bank account. But where the ego is also programmed to measure things. Okay. And so you give someone a present and it's something symbolic. Okay, thank you, but no, it's great. I mean, they thought of you. They took the time to buy you something. And find solace in that kind of thing. Someone calls you maybe in your birthday. Hey, how are you? Happy birthday. I'm sending you my best. I mean, those little things sometimes are way more than, getting the huge thing or, winning the lottery or getting the great job. Um, and you're right, Tony. I remember when I was young, I used to work in the UK, but that was a very lengthy hiring process. And I was all excited through the process. Oh, I'm maybe getting the job, and maybe they're offering a big salary. Maybe I'm going to travel. All these expectations, these fantasies I was making in my mind, in my ego. And then I got the job, and it was great, but all of that kind of died down, you see.
Yeah.
And very few times the fantasy will reach reality. I mean, it's the fantasies I was making. Maybe they're gonna send me business class, and maybe I'm gonna meet someone that offers me a better job. And it's just your mind making this stuff.
Yeah.
And in a way, it's this. It's like almost like you're getting high off it. I know if it makes sense to you guys.
Yeah.
So tiring too. Like, what if
Yes, all that. Yeah,
and
the stories in your head.
it always fades out, no matter what. And like, how many times in my life have I said, "Oh, if I just make this much money, I'll be good," and then I make that much money, and then
And
3 weeks later, it's if I just make this much now, if I just had this car, if I just lived on this street, and it's just.
Yeah.
And it's like at the end of the day, it's like none of that shit matters. Like
exactly.
none of it. It's and like you said, the Ferrari, the money, those are all temporary. Those are all temporary, and like they we're not bringing any of those to our grave with us. Like what? You'd throw me in the ground with a Rolex, okay? Right?
Yeah. It's like the system's set up in a way to make us look outwards. Yeah. It's like that cartoon character of a donkey with a stick, and on the end of the stick is a carrot, and it's walking towards the carrot, but it's never going to reach it.
Never gets there.
It's like everything you look at, it's an advert for this, an advert for that. Oh, my neighbour's got this, I've got to get one. Oh, I'm not wearing the right clothes. Everything is looking outwards, which is taking away our attention from our own peace. And I think when we're at peace, we're that's where the joy emanates, from peace. So we're constantly spread thin. Our attention is spread so thin that we're not able or allowed to be on our own still and content, just looking at the water, just looking at the sunset, looking at just breathing, just being alive. That's the big secret,
Yeah, and we're programmed that way. You're exactly right. Yeah. Like we're programmed from, here in the U.S. from the age of 5 in kindergarten, and it's stand, sit, raise your hand to speak, math, reading, arithmetic, like, okay, what's in fashion? Who's the popular kid? This class-based society where you only mean something if you come from a rich amount of money, or you don't mean anything if it's just. You're right. It's programmed that way, and it's people just need to be heard, and it's like I'm just like sitting back, and I like the art of silence, and it's like I said earlier, that's what I do is I just take it all in and just do the best I can.
And there's a time when I came home from work, I used to stick the television on. This is years ago, but I couldn't bear silence. Even me. I was at my first day at school. I came home at dinner time, had my dinner. Dinner hall was cacophony of plates and trays and noise. I went home. It was pissing down the rain. My mum went, "What are you doing home?" It's too noisy. So I was always this kid who didn't like noise. I know this, but the system took me away for a while and had me for a while until I woke up again. I went, nah, I don't like this noise. And thank God it was almost, soul spirit. I came to that recognition. No, I'm done with that. I'm not having it anymore. There's no happiness out there for me. It's like a cartwheel with the spokes. Went down the drink, I went down the drugs, I went down the football, I went down this and that. And I came back to the hub, me. And I was lucky not to go over the edge, the rim. So I found through trial and error, all these things are wasted errands. The hub is me. That's where I'm meant to be. And I just think people, once they stop following other people and leaders and influencers and sit on their own and just be on their own, accept that this is it and don't need a TV on. You don't need a radio on. You're okay. You're complete. Once that happens, the world will change. But yeah, this is at the root of it all. I can feel it in my bones. This is what we need to do. And the system don't like it. That's why Alex has got so many million followers.
No, not really, but yeah, I think it really, Joel, what you were saying about school, and you, Tony, you're also saying that about school. If they really want to teach you something, they should teach you alone classes or stillness or whatever you want to call it. I mean, not teach you, but promote it in a way to say, hey, let's all be quiet for 15 minutes. Close our eyes and be in our own and, be happy with it. Because when I want to promote a little alone time, you want to call it meditation, you want to call it joining your intuition, you want to, whatever you want to call it, but just being still for 5 minutes. Still, business, quietness, disconnecting from the out there.
Yep.
Okay, really just blocking the noise. And that's what I say. If you can be in a room with little light, little noise, just they say 5 minutes. I remember one guy telling me, will it be 1 minute maybe? Because we're so used that whatever time you're not investing in something, you're not watching a screen. Right now with screen time.
Yeah.
If it's a phone, a TV, a computer or something, but you should be doing something. At least if it could be reading, but I think very few people read nowadays. And it's like that. It's right now the screens, the cell phone has fulfilled that people just don't understand that it's good to reconnect with you and notice that in that 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you don't really need the out there. Okay, it's great. The out there is a compliment. It's like beyond the 100%. You are the 100%, and the out there is the 100, 105, 110. It's like having a full tank of gas, and then the out there is beyond full. Okay, because that also gives you such a security to go on and understand that you truly, as you both guys well say, you truly don't need anything more than you. Okay, and these stories that we need and that, and we're talking about the Ferrari. Does it really make you happy? Or does it feel great, like a surge of endorphins and that? But does it really? I mean, do people that put their happiness in material things are ever happy? Or do they end up in drugs, trying to find pleasure in sexual and these kind of things and doing weird stuff? Because at the end they're empty inside. Because they are trying to fulfill themselves with all these things from the out there, these pleasures from the out there. That is not the Ferrari. Now I want that double Ferrari or the triple Ferrari. I think Joel's gone. Should we pause it? Are you here?
Joel?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened?
Good connection.
So for me, that's the key. I mean, I understand we all need money. I'm sure a few people have tried living without money. Tony and I know very well the story of Moxie from the UK, that he tried to live without money and didn't make it. He had to go back to having money. So I don't think money is the enemy. Is the focus. Is putting happiness in money, in material things. Instead of making money work for you working for money. Like, I'm going to be a slave all my life because I need to get the most money because that's going to make me the most happy. I don't agree. I don't agree.
And that's a great point, Alex. And I think when it comes to material things, I think at the root of it all is our motives. Right? Like, I think, like, I enjoy having nice things. I enjoy dressing nice. I enjoy having a nice car, reliable transportation. I like my home is nice, but it's not the root of my happiness. That
Mm,
is not, those things don't define Joel. You know,
mm,
the things that define me is me as a father and a husband and a brother. Those are the things that really define me, because I know in my 45 years, I've had everything and felt horrible about myself because I was being a shitty person, and I know that I've had nothing and felt great because I was really in connection with myself and those around me. And it's, you made another important. It reminds me of the I'm not, anybody that knows me knows I'm not really a Bible guy, but one of my favorite verses is, "Be still and know that I am God." I mean, that's really deep. If you stop and just think about that and dissect that, you can really dissect it. Um, but I think when it comes to material things, and if you look in any type of spirituality around the world, there's nobody ever says not to have a lot of great things, and that we have to have nothing to be happy. It's our motives behind it, right? It's not, money isn't the root of all evil, as they say. The love of money is the root of all evil. It's when I let money and material things define me and my character
mm.
that now it's an issue. Now it's a problem. Now that hole in my soul is never going to get filled. It can't get filled with outside things. It gets filled by being quiet and finding myself.
Yeah, very profound. I remember you saying that once in Waking the Future. Be still and know I'm God. It stuck with me. I'm like, yeah, he's got it. And the other word you used was identify with. None of these things define me. I don't identify with any of it. I'm okay with that. Be identified with anything. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. It's it. Identification with objects, with money, with material goods. They're not me. I don't need them. But we're convinced that that's necessary for our happiness. You're not happy. You can't be happy. You need a watch. You need this. You need that. And that's been drummed into our heads that we're not good enough on our own. And that's one of the big lies that people need to know. You don't need anything to be happy. That's what capitalism demands. Without that, capitalism's finished. Our slavery is finished when we know we're complete without it.
Look at how much money did Rockefeller and Carnegie and all of these guys spend at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, as they're building all these big machines. Is they're like, okay, we can do and produce all of this stuff, but like, we need people to fucking buy it.
Without us, that's it. It's crazy. Piece of plastic. Oh, am I happy? No, my adrenaline might kick in if it's a brand new iPhone, or whatever it is.
Brand new iPhone, it does the fucking, part of my language, that does the same thing as the last iPhone.
And
Yeah,
the last one, and the last one.
It's
yeah,
people are like, "What iPhone do you have?" I'm like, "I don't know."
yeah.
I get
It
This is
works.
it's an Oppo app, by the way. It's an old Oppo. It's about 50 quid.
if I could find it, maybe I could tell you, but half the time I can't even find the damn thing. And
Yeah,
it's the new gadget, and that's the commercialization of everything. Like, look at, we were
yeah,
talking about it earlier in the show. Look at what we've done to Christmas. Just
yeah,
look at what it's supposed to be, whether you believe it or not.
yeah.
It's supposed to be about somebody who, whether if Jesus is real or wasn't real, you can't argue with Sermon on the Mount. You can't argue with these moral teachings.
Mm,
You can't. And, and we've turned it into nonsense.
yeah,
Like, but let's go out and buy nonsense for each other.
yeah,
Like, in the next year, we're gonna have another year. And if you asked, "Hey, do you remember not what nonsense I bought you last year?" 90% of them aren't even gonna remember.
yeah.
It's crazy. It's nuts.
Yeah. And it's not just like physical objects, it's material goods that we get given or we look forward to. It's looking out to leaders, looking out to influencers. We're like giving our attention out. We're delegating our attention, our will, our consciousness to others, which is, I believe, our spirit. We're spreading ourselves so thin, and they've got their little feelers out, their magnets. Come over here, come over here. Now, don't listen to this one. Vote for me, vote for me. I'm the best influencer. It's like our attention isn't our own anymore, and I think that's what we're being depleted of, our consciousness. But yeah, it's simple, really, isn't it? Life, it's not that difficult to figure out.
As long as we stay out of the way, as long as we don't let this, like, and it's, it's funny because we mentioned at the beginning of the show, about our thoughts. We're not our thoughts, but we can also use our thoughts for positivity, right? Like if I wake up saying, "Oh, I think a beer or some cocaine is good," like that's not good. But if I wake up with connected and with a list of goals to make myself better, right? Now I can utilize my thoughts and but they got to be in alignment. And like you said,
exactly.
If we're spread too thin, we got nothing to align it with because we're all over the place. And it's
Alex, I'll just chuck one more thing before you come in.
Yeah,
I just thought of it. It's like I thought of this is the system is pushing on us, and I'm not going to mince my words. It's evil. It's darkness. So buy this, buy that. Dog eat dog. Get your promotion. Stab him in the back. Walk over him to get where you want to get to. It's literally darkness. So our motivations and our drives are all about wickedness. It's not in alignment with peace. It's more in alignment with chaos and hate and fear. So I'll keep it simple, like black and white. You've got the system is darkness, and our true essence, our true state is the light. So, like Joel just said, you can use the mind to feed yourself positives, like affirmations of positive, and how to make yourself happier, better. And it's like your subconscious is filled with this rubbish from the system that has implanted it in us. Like Alex uses that word. I love that word, implanted. So it's drummed into us, implanted into us. And now our software, our subconscious, we're robots running on their software, the darkness. So if we realise that and we critically think about what we take in, and we say, well, no, I don't want that anymore. I'm not listening to that show. I'm not watching the news. I'm not buying a newspaper. I'm going to go on my own tangent. I'm going to read philosophy. I'm going to read Sermon on the Mount. I'm going to read Buddha. I'm going to read what I want to read. And that's like positive light software. And then you've overwritten your programming with positive. So the dark's gone and now the light's coming. It's like, that's simplified. But yeah, the mind is useful to reprogram yourself with positive things, light things. And it's just knowledge, isn't it? We've been taught so much rubbish.
So much.
Yeah, I totally agree with you guys. I mean, as Joe says, since kindergarten, I mean, raise your hand, do this, do that, math. I mean, this absolute knowledge thing that they're not. I mean, and then the programming goes that sometimes you speak to people that are in their 70s, their 80s, and if they kind of mature their life, they say, I was in this contest. I was playing for something. In a way, I was pursuing something. I was running all my life on this continuous thing, searching. And now that I'm kind of at the end, I don't even know what I was doing. Okay, and I think that's 80% of humanity. I mean, that where we go to work, I mean, Monday to Friday, whatever it is, because it's different in other parts of the world, and we rest. Sorry, guys, it's my son. So I'm gonna pause it for a second. All right, so we're back, and so yes, we are constantly in this running up And sometimes people that are up there in age just say, I don't even know what I was doing, like my life.
It's like, sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I look at people, and I'm really not judging them, but I'm like, don't they ever just like stop and say like, is this it? Like, what am I doing here? Like, what? And it's like, I've made some very good choices over the last 8, 9, 10 years of my life where I'm like, I'm out of the rat race, right? And like I kind of work when I want to, and I bought a home a little over a year ago, and I set myself up really nice. I had a baby, who will never go to daycare, who has a nanny, who will never see the inside of a school, who will never probably see a standard pediatrician or doctor. Like I have set myself up because I found myself in my meaning and what I was supposed to do with my life. And I realized that service to others, and I don't even know how I got on this tangent, but service to others is what we're meant to do. We're meant to be there, and we're meant to be available, which is another way of trying, right? We'll never get rid of the ego, but we can do our best at being aware of it and getting it out of the way. And it's, and I had this conversation, this was a few months back, of like for the last few years, probably 3, 4, 5 years, it's when I say I don't care, it's not that I don't care, it's that I don't care about any of that outside stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Like I can't. It's like the other stuff when I allow that outside world to control me, and especially with like waking the future and once you have a grasp, I feel like you go through phases. You go through the blinder phase where you're completely unaware of what's going on, and then you start to realize that something's going on here, and then you get really angry, and because you start to see things for how they are, and then you get to the point where I'm at is it's like, oh, that's just the way things are. I can do my part, and I can try to make people aware, and I can try to help people find themselves, but the world is going to be what the world is, and the world is going to have to go through what it's going to have to go through for us to get where we are. And it's and this has just been such a cool chat. I love it because it just goes where it's going to go. Alex, I apologize. I feel like I kind of spent a lot of time talking and used up a lot of the time for the
No.
Not at all. Not at all.
That was the point.
We're looking up to you for the right wisdom, mate. That's what you're here for. You're a leader.
Well, the best leader is the one who serves his people, right?
There you go. Yeah. No, it's been great. Yeah, I said to Carol, but was it yesterday? If you want to give me a compliment, call me bird brain. What? I said, call me bird brain. I said, you've not seen them birds in the road when they pushed a nut in the road and let a car roll over it to open the nut. I went, that's a compliment. You look around you. Any day, give me that. That's the compliment. So
I'll try it with my wife. I'll call her bird brain when we're done.
she's got to be in on it though. She might take it away.
Take it as a compliment.
Yeah, it's being true to yourself, isn't it, mate? You've got to be true to what you believe and what you know is right. And by you doing what you do and saying, yeah, the rest of the world, nothing against them, but to me, they're irrelevant. They're not relevant to me. So I'm going to be true to myself and live my way. And that takes courage. Yeah.
I think
we will
lose Tony. Joe?
I think we might have lost Tony.
Yes. I'm gonna pause it for a second so it doesn't go very long. Okay, we're back and we have Tony online again. Go ahead, Tony. You were talking about something.
Yeah, I think it's just like we came here to die. We live our life. We've got a choice. We either follow the system's way and do as you're told, live in misery and fear and anger, which is a lose-lose, or you choose your own path, you make your own rules.
Yeah.
And it's like, to me, it's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you? So yeah, like you say, Alex, we're all on the line. We're all somewhere on that line. Some are further ahead, some are further back, and that's how it's meant to be. So
Does it matter? Not really.
yeah, maybe not.
And yeah, I think that's why for years now, I think we have gotten to a point that sure you can try. I still believe on giving out information. Okay, on that, on sharing information. You told me that you do your stuff with your that you plant stuff out there in London. That's great, but that's one thing, and imposing is a whole different thing. I mean, someone could be a total normal system person. Some call them 3D or whatever. It's perfectly fine. It's their decision. It's their life. I mean, for them to truly change, they have to decide that. You are not gonna change them. I mean, you can suggest it if it's a close friend, a family member. You can push it a little bit, but at the end, the decision has to come within. And I think really that's very important because I see that in the world right now a lot. Some people say we're in an awful moment and 2026 is starting because of the thing out there in Venezuela. Sure, we're in a complex worldwide scenario, but individually, people, I think they're understanding that you are you and you're fine like that, and I'm me, and we could be different, and we could even be friends, and we could even, have a nice discussion. And I don't care that you believe in aliens and you believe in past lives, and I mean, talking about me, of course. And I could tell them the same thing. I don't care if you don't. I don't care if you don't believe in God. I don't care about anything of that. Because at the end, I don't think the only person we can change is ourselves. Not even our children, not even our parents. The only person you can truly change is you. And by the way, you have a total control on that. That's wonderful. And you can do that today. I mean, if it grows in you, if you have this feeling in you, you can start changing today. And that's a great thing. That's very powerful. That I wouldn't say that's a small thing. But the ego as well has this programming, I think, that you go out there to change the world, that you go out there, that you're the fixer of the world, the savior of the world. It's almost, and some people I'm talking, we're talking previously about influencers or whatever you want to call them. And, these people that have grown a little bit, they think that they can really, that they're here to save us. Not really. Not really. I mean, and when you relieve yourself from that pressure that I think we all have gone through, especially when we're younger, that you're here and you need to make a dent, you need to make a change. No. As Joe says, he's at peace that the world is as it is. He has his little possibilities to change, a lot himself, his inner circle, his daily life. But we're not going to change governments and all that kind of things. I mean, that's on them, okay? And what we try
freedom starts at home, right?
Yes, and what we try is by changing ourselves, we are really setting up the world. If we all change, then the world changes.
That's it.
Well, and how many people have, and because I focus on myself and changing myself, now I can be an instrument of change for other people because what they see is attractive, right? And it's attraction. It's not promotion. I'm not out there touting about my lifestyle or how I live. People see it firsthand when they come to my house and they see me or they see people like us in public and it looks attractive and they're like, wow, like, what are you doing? Like, you look so content. You're happy. What are you doing? And that's the way you do it. And that's how you make change. Because you're exactly right, Alex. I'm not going to change Tony or Alex's routine or what they think or anything like that and it's just, and I mean, you alluded to Venezuela and all like that, and I think about like where I am right now in 2026, the beginning of 2026, and I met you back in 2022, Alex, and probably 2022 or 2023 with you as well, Tony. And we started the podcast in 2020, and like look at everything everybody was saying then. Everybody was going to be dead. You know, and I know the D cut did all the.
That's it.
And it's like no, like, and we started saying it like no, it's just this is all going to be behind us someday. And what a weird time it was to live in. But now it's just like, now you're talking about it in conversation. It's like, and it was just like this weird blurb that happened for a couple of years.
That's it.
And you make a great point, and I don't really talk about that era that a lot because the platform we're in doesn't like it very much. I'm probably gonna take out a word you said there, but remember when we were talking about that on your shows and that, and we're saying the ones who got it and the ones that didn't get it. The ones who got it. It was their decision. I mean, sure, there was a little. Sure. There was, yes, there was. But at the end, it was their decision. So, and I remember a lot of people justifying that I want to travel and I want to do this, and they're going to ask for that to open a bank account and stuff. I understand all that. But at the end, both sides, we were fine. I mean, you got it. It's your decision. And if something happens, you are the one that got it. I didn't put it in you. You were the one that got it. And if I didn't get it, it's fine as well. Don't judge me. I mean, respect me in a way that I'm respecting you. So that I remember a lot of talking that I think that teaches a lot that even in religions and all that, if you want to believe in whatever you want to believe, that's perfectly fine. You believe it, okay? I'm not going to force you. Again, we go back with the changing. But if I want to believe in source, if I want to believe in a God, if I want to believe I'm part of that he's my creator, I'm also fine. And if you don't respect me, I don't care. Okay? I mean, and that's what happens, and it's probably happening with you guys, with arguments. And it just happened to me with a taxi person. I was in a trip in the US, Joel, out there in the West, California, Seattle, and stuff like that. And most Ubers were from the Middle East and, people that have been in the US for 10, 20 years. And there was one that immediately started kind of pushing the Quran and stuff like that. And in a way, it was like, oh, but are you an atheist and you don't believe in anything? No, it doesn't matter what I believe. If you believe the Quran is beautiful, that's beautiful for you. But don't try to impose it in me and my family, okay? And don't try to make us feel like we are less or we are cursed. Because I remember another taxi driver then in London telling me, oh, God is going to remember that I told you in your deathbed when you're dying and you're going to say, I'm sorry, I didn't believe this guy. And I was like, no.
Exactly.
So it works both ways. We shouldn't try. You could have a friend, and he could be a Muslim, he could be a Buddhist, he could be agnostic, he could be atheist. It's fine. It's him or her. But then again, works both ways. Why I shouldn't be fine if I'm something else? If I'm my own religion, if I'm a one-person religion that believes in green aliens or whatever, I'm also fine.
Yeah.
So with that, guys, we have been going like probably around an hour. And I know, Joel, if you know this, but if we keep the video under 1 hour, YouTube will dub it to over 20 languages.
That's perfect. I got to get going anyways.
Yeah. So anything on closing, guys?
I'll leave Joel for the
final
spot. Okay. I would just summarize it as, I think we're just basically programmed by the system, and it's like a robot with a floppy disk in their head, and the programming is different in every person. I've got a saying I write in the comments wherever I can, which is narratives are mazes for the mind. It's like humanity has been controlled by stories, belief systems, narratives throughout history, and these stories are what control people. So if people could understand that narratives are mazes for the mind, and they keep you up here, going round and round and round. You should be a Muslim. You should be this. You should be that. We could identify the problem and understand it. The indoctrination and the programming, the stories are what keep us remote-controlled robots. This is a great one, deep one. Over to you, Joel.
Thank you. And I just want to say, great show. Thank you for having me on. And like, if you get anything out of this show, it's, you know, like Tony just said, like, try to clear the space, get out there, and like I said, take a deep breath and, you know, take it all in and say to yourself, maybe I've been wrong this whole time. Maybe it's time to open my mind to new things, get quiet, and find myself and find my own purpose.
Brilliant.
Yes, thank you guys. Thank you. That was a great show. Hopefully we can do it again anytime soon. I mean, and yes, I'm going to stay with that because I remember, Joel, a phrase from your show, Week in the Future. Think for yourself. And it's such a great phrase because, of course, yes, it talks a little bit about the mind and your mind view about the world and everything, and maybe, you know, how you feel about stuff.
Do your own research and find your own truth.
Exactly. Find your own truth. I mean, whatever resonates with you is fine. If I love the Quran, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. But actually try and impose it on you, because then you have to find your own truth. So I think that's the evolvement I see in the world right now. That really, that respect for our own ideas is growing. Of saying, hey, you are this, you are that. And some people say it's being liberal. I don't agree. It's whatever you want to do. It's you. Okay? I respect it. And maybe by me respecting you, you are also going to respect some others. It's going to kind of build on somewhere else. Thank you guys very much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Great show. It's coming out on Monday or recorded on a previous Thursday. I'll send you the link, Joel, anyways. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tony.
Cheers, guys.
Very late for Tony, guys. Really, thank you both.
Yeah,
thank you, guys.
No worries.
Take care.
Cheers.
Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover your true self. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and to serve others. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover your true self? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to the universe. Simply ask, who am I? Where do I come from? What is my purpose? You will start getting signs, breadcrumbs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about this reality start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering your true self equals to real freedom. Your self-imposed limits will fall and you will be ready to understand this reality, but you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will set up a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, lust, envy, violence, justice through violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions are only your egoic mind and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It's very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Thank you very much for watching. Please share, like, and subscribe. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you'd like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@thealexshow.tv. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.thealexshow.tv. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very